Sometimes I stand looking at my wife without her knowing I'm here. The first time she stepped into that room, she said, "Oh, how nice. This is where I want to be." We had known each other only a few days. There was a bishop's convention in Trondheim, and Eva had come as representative for a church journal. We were introduced at lunch, and I told her about the parsonage we had out here. I dared to suggest that we come out here one morning when the convention was over. On the way, I asked her if she would marry me. She didn't answer. But when we stepped into that room, she turned to me and said, "Oh, how nice. This is where I want to be." Since then, we've lived a quiet, contented life at the parsonage. Eva has often spoken with me about her earlier life. After graduating, she went on to study at the university, got engaged to a doctor, and lived with him for several years. Wrote 2 small books, became ill with tuberculosis, broke off the engagement, left Oslo for a tiny little town in the south of Norway, and there began to make her mark as a journalist. This is the first of her books. I like it very much. Here's what she's written. People have to learn how to live. I try to practice every day. The difficulty lies in that I haven't found my identity, and so I grope blindly. If someone could love me as I am, I feel quite certain I might dare look at myself. Yet the mere likelihood of my having that experience seems so very distant. I would like to tell her she is loved for herself, just the way she is, truly loved, completely. But I cannot seem to find a way so she'd believe me. I just can't put it into words.
My letter to Mom. Am I interrupting? Could I read it?
No, come in and sit down. I'll just turn off the radio. It's an afternoon
Why not listen
concert.
to the music? I could come back a bit later.
I'd much rather you read me the letter.
Dearest Mama, I was in town yesterday morning and ran into Agnes, who had come with her husband and children to be with her parents. I was sorry to hear Leonardo had died. Dearest Mama, of course I understand how terrible it is for you. I was wondering if you'd like to come here and visit us for a while, but only if you want to and if you can. To avoid you worrying too much and refusing to consider it, I must describe the parsonage. It's a spacious place. You'll have a nice room, secluded and with a nice private bath. We have a fine grant, and naturally you can practice all you want. Surely you'll enjoy not having to put up with hotels for a while. Dearest Mama, say that you'll come. We'll make a fuss, and then we'll spoil you as much as you will let us. How long since we've seen each other? 7 years. Or it will be this autumn. All our love, Victor and your daughter Eva.
Oh, that's very good.
You really think so?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh,
Here,
dear.
let me.
That was a long, long trip.
Yeah, I know
Oh.
it's long.
Yeah, it was just the last bit that was long. But it's so beautiful.
You're staying for a while, aren't you?
Well, I certainly am.
I can't believe you're here.
Let's go for a nice long walk. You can show me everything, huh?
How heavy these valises are. Did you bring all your music?
Of course. I thought I'd stay here with you for good.
That would be nice. You'll give me lessons, won't you?
Oh, sure. We'll play and practice. And where's Victor?
He's not home at the moment. We didn't know you'd be here this early. You should be back for lunch. This is your room.
Oh, how nice.
Think so?
Oh, what a beautiful view. Look at that.
And the bathroom's here.
Oh, so up to date. How lovely.
And the closet's right here. I hope there's enough room.
It could hardly be nicer. You know, I really am tired.
Oh.
Such a backache. Oh, I sat with Leonardo the last night. And he was in pain. The shots no longer seemed to be of any help. At times he cried. It wasn't the fear of death, but just how it was hurting him. There was construction work going on outside the hospital, and they were drilling and hammering. And, oh, it was so hot, and there were no Venetian blinds to keep out the sun. We tried to get another room, but there were several wards that were being repaired. When finally the construction stopped in the evening and the sun set, I could open the window. But there wasn't a breath of air to be found, and it was so hot. The professor came that evening. He was a very special friend of Leonardo's. Well, he said it was nearly over, and that Leonardo would be given a shot every half hour, so he could die without pain. Then the professor left, and the nurse came in and gave Leonardo a shot. She thought I ought to eat something, but I wasn't hungry. It made me sick, that awful odor. Oh, Leonardo dozed for a moment or two. Then he woke up. Awoke and asked me to go out of the room. He rang the bell and summoned the nurse. She came with the hypodermic. After a moment, she came out. She came out to the corridor and said, Leonardo was dead. Yeah, I sat with him all night. I thought about how we've been friends. Those 18 years and 13 living with him, without our ever having had an angry word. For over 2 years, he knew he was ill and there was no hope. As often as I could, I'd go and see him at his villa outside Naples. Oh, he was so kind to me, and all my success seemed to give him pleasure. We'd reminisce and joke and play a little chamber music. He didn't say anything at all to me about what was wrong, and of course I didn't ask. He wouldn't have liked it. One day he came to me and then he laughed and said, by next year you'll realize I'll be gone. But I'll think of you always. And I'll always be near. Yeah. It was nice of Leonardo, but he was a little theatrical. I can't say that I'm sitting around grieving. There is a certain emptiness, but bearing yourself isn't the answer. Do you think I've changed much since we've seen each other?
You're the same exactly.
I've dyed my hair, of course. Leonardo never liked my gray hair, but there's been no other change. Look, I bought this little pantsuit in Zurich. It looked comfortable for the trip in the car. It was in a window on Bahnhofstrasse. As it happened, the fit was perfect. It was amazingly inexpensive. Don't you think it's smart?
It's beautiful.
Well, let's unpack, all right? Help me with that suitcase, will you? It's my damn back as usual. Is there a board around that you could put under the mattress? I need something hard to sleep on.
There's a board under the mattress
Ah,
already.
wonderful.
We put it there yesterday.
But Eva, dear, what is it? Are you crying? Did I say something stupid with my chattering?
It's only because I'm so glad to see you.
Oh, come on now. Give me a great big hug the way you did when you were little. Oh, I keep on talking about myself. We must talk about you, all right? Dearest Eva, let's sit down right here. How are things with you now, Eva?
Fine, I'm just fine.
I'm so glad, Eva, dear. But don't you live a very isolated life?
No, we're very busy at the parish, both Victor and I.
Yes, of course, dear.
I play quite often at the church. In fact, last month I did a whole evening's recital. I played and talked about each piece I played. It was a great success.
Oh, you must remember to play for me. If you like to, that is.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Just think, I gave 5 programs in the Los Angeles Music Hall. 3,000 children came to every one. I played and I did some lecturing. Oh, it was a great success, but it was very tiring and terrible.
Mama, there's something I must tell you, all right? Helena is here.
You should have written. You should have told me.
I'm sure had I written and said Helena was here, you wouldn't have come.
I'd have been sure to come anyway.
I don't think you'd have been sure to come.
Couldn't it stop with Leonardo's death? Did you have to drag poor Lena here too?
Mama, Lena's been living here for 2 years. I wrote you that Victor and I asked her if she would like to live here with us. I did write to you.
But I never received that letter.
Or else you never bothered to read it.
Well, that's a bit unfair to me, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think I can see her. At any rate, not today.
Mama, Helena is a wonderful person. She longs so terribly to see you again.
Oh, God, and that nursing home seemed to be a nice place.
But I did want her here with me.
And she's better off being here, you think?
Yeah, I'm certain. And I have someone to look after.
Has she... I mean, Is she... I mean, does she seem worse?
Yeah, she's worse, but that's part of the disease.
Yeah. Let's go and see her. Come down.
Sure that you want to?
What choice have I?
Mama.
I can't get along with people who don't seem to be aware of their motives.
Meaning me?
Take it as you wish. Come, let's go. Lena, darling. I think about you so often, every single day.
Helena says she has a sore throat and she's afraid that you might catch it.
But I'm not afraid of germs, Lena. It's been 20 years since I had a cold. What a lovely room you have. View simply stunning. There's the same superb view from my room.
Helena wants you to take her head in your hands and then look at her.
So, you mean like that? I'm so glad Eva's looking after you. I didn't know anything about it. I thought you were still at that home. The fact is, I meant to try and see you there. But this is much better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we can be together every day.
Yeah.
Are you in pain?
Yeah.
How lovely your hair looks.
It's in your honor, Mama.
If you like, I can read aloud. Would you like that? And drive about in the car. I really don't know when I've seen such pretty countryside. What's that now?
Lena says it's been very tiring, and you'd best not try anymore today.
Mama, vad
Mama's really done so well.
Oh, is there a clock here?
Sure, on the night table.
Here now, you must have my watch, Lena. It was given to me by an admirer who thought I was always late. Does Lena take meals with us?
Nay, it's better that she get her main meal midday. Lena's on a special sort of diet. She was eating far too much at the home.
Why do I feel as if I had a fever? As if I'm going to cry. So idiotic and stupid. They're trying to shame me. That's what's behind it. And then a guilty conscience. Always a guilty conscience. And the mad rush to come here. What did they expect? What was it I so longed for, that I was forced to hide it from myself?
That incomprehensible and strange mother. You should have seen her when I told her Helena was living here with us. She smiled. She actually did. She managed to produce a smile, just think. Though she was stunned and rather startled. And as we stood outside of Lena's room, an actress waiting for her entrance. Nervous, naturally, but self-possessed. What a superb performance. Why did she come, I'd like to know. What was she looking for after 7 years? What was she looking for?
I wonder.
And what did I expect? Do we always go on hoping?
I don't think so.
Do we always go on as mother and daughter?
There's no point in trying. For God's sake. There she sat, staring at me with her big sad eyes. I held her head between my hands, and underneath, the disease kept pulling at her throat muscles. For Christ's sake. Imagine I can't lift her in my arms and comfort her the way I did when the poor child was only 3. That slack, limp, torn body. That's my Linn. Don't cry now, damn it.
A writer, I can't remember his name, once said. It's a ghost-like spirit, weighted and immense, that falls on top of you when you open the nursery door. Having simply forgotten as the years passed that it was the nursery door. You think I've grown up?
Yeah, I would say grown up is the ability to handle your dreams and your hopes, not longing.
Think so.
Or maybe you no longer wonder at anything.
You sit there looking so sensible with your pipe. I think you're totally grown up.
I don't think I am. I'm filled with wonder every day.
At what?
At you, for example. And I have the most unreasonable dreams, as well as the most irrational hopes. And a sort of longing, come to think of it.
Longing?
I long for you.
Those are very lovely words, aren't they? I mean words that don't mean anything, really. I was brought up on such words. Mama's never disappointed, merely sad or angry. She's just pained. You use many such words. Of course, it has to do with your calling in your case. You say that you long for me as I sit here, and I'm suspicious at once.
You know very well what I mean.
No. I mean, if I did know, it couldn't possibly occur to you to say you long for me. I'll go to the kitchen and have a look at the veal roast. Mama thinks as a cook I'm hopeless. She's a terrible glutton, of course.
I think your cooking is...
Just marvelous. Oh, thanks, my friend. I mustn't forget she's to have decaffeinated coffee.
I'll cut short my visit. I'll make it 4 days. I can handle that. I'll go to Africa, as I originally planned. This hurts, Charlotte. Hurts, hurts, hurts.
Victor, I've wondered why she doesn't sleep well. Now I know why. I mean, if she got the normal 8 hours, her vitality would crush the world around her. Her insomnia's nature's regulator, so her level of energy will stay at a tolerable point.
I'll wear my red gown. Just for sheer annoyance. For my Eva would think it proper that I wear black because it's so soon after Leonardo's death.
Victor, how carefully she'll dress to come to dinner. It was noticed the perfect attire that's meant as a discreet but pointed reminder. She's a lonely mourning widow, after all.
I'm so angry all the time. Victor and Eva have been very nice to me. I believe they're glad to have me here. Victor is a very kind soul. Lucky for the little sourpuss. He's as nice as all that. I'll bet the shower doesn't work either. What do you know it does?
Dearest Mama, what a beautiful gown.
Do you think it suits me? One day I met my friend, Samuel Parkinghurst. And he said, Charlotte, I've been to a marvelous fashion show. And there's a red gown there that's absolutely you.
Yeah, well, here's to your health. Welcome to the parsonage, dear Charlotte.
Hello, is that you, Paul? Hello? Yes, no, not at all. We've just finished dinner. Yes, that's the way it is. In this country, you eat dinner at 4 o'clock. What? Another concert? Wait, wait. You must speak up. I can't hear you. The line is so noisy. Oh, wait a minute. I have to get my book and my glasses. Eva, see if I left my glasses over there by the window. Where are you? In Monte Carlo? What are you doing in Monte Carlo? Mind you don't gamble my money away. Huh? Thank you, darling. There. Now the old girl has got her glasses on her nose. Here, let me see. There. Oh, no, that's impossible. That's my time off, and you know that very well. No. No, it's no good. I wouldn't dream of it. Here I've written free. How much do they pay, did you say? Good Lord. All right, if they can make their concert on Wednesday the 17th, it'll be all right. Okay, and tell them from me that they have to fix a proper toilet behind the platform. Right, so I don't have to pee in a flower vase. Well, I don't care how baroque the castle is. In the 90s? Oh, well, take care of yourself so you don't overdo it. Remember, we are not as young as we were. Right. I love you. You know that. Ah, that was my agent. He's so nice. Dear Paul is my only friend in the world. Oh, but you know him, Eva. Dear man, we've worked together now for 30 years. What a fine old instrument. What a lovely tone. And just tuned. Now I feel really good. Oh, there was no need to be worried.
What do you mean, Mama?
My dear child, you must realize how nervous I felt about seeing you after so many years. I almost phoned to say I couldn't come. Nay, thank you, no sugar. Yeah, this strange coffee's a nuisance, but when you're unable to sleep, it's all you can drink. I see you keep up the Chopin preludes. Want to play one for me?
Oh, not now, Mama.
Oh, come now. Eva, now, don't be childish. Play something. Go ahead. It'll give me great pleasure.
Yeah, but dear, just the other afternoon you told me you hoped that your mother would listen to you play.
Yeah, only... I mean, I simply fake a lot. There's no technique. I didn't even bother about the correct fingering to play this prelude. I don't know if I can manage it.
All right, darling. Enough excuses. Go on now. dearest little Eva.
Is that all you have to say?
Nay, but I was so moved.
You liked it, you mean?
I liked you, my child.
I've no idea what you mean.
Is there something else that you can play now we're all cozy?
Nay, I want to know what was wrong.
There wasn't anything wrong.
But you didn't like the way I played this particular prelude.
But we all play our own interpretation.
Of course, that's right. And I want to know yours.
But you're already angry.
Nay, just heard that you don't think it worth the time and effort to give me an idea how you interpret this prelude.
Well, I suppose I must if you insist. I won't bother going into the technical side, which wasn't bad. Though it was unwise not to take a bit more interest in the quarto fingering. It often helps with interpretation. But for now, we'll talk about the concept primarily. Chopin was rich in feeling, Eva, but not gushy. It's not the same. There's a great difference. Emotion isn't sentiment. The prelude you just played tells of anguish that's suppressed. It's not about dreams. You should be very clear, harsh, and tranquil. Take the opening, for instance. It hurts, but it never shows it. And then a short release. But it's very fleeting. It hardly lasts. And the pain is the same. Neither heightened nor diminished. But there's total restraint throughout. Chopin was proud, sarcastic, passionate, tormented, and very male. In other words, he wasn't a sentimental old woman. This second prelude must be made to sound almost ugly. Never allow it to become ingratiating. It should sound wrong. You battle through the piece and finally manage to end up triumphant. Like this. Listen to it.
I understand.
Don't get angry with me, Eva.
Why would I be angry? On the contrary.
45 terrible years I've been battling with these preludes. They've got secrets, some still escape me. Things I don't really understand.
how much I admired you as a very little girl. Then I got fed up with you and your pianos for many years. It's a bit different, but now I find I admire you again.
There's still hope.
Yeah, I guess so.
Eva, where are you?
I'm up here, Mama.
Darling, is this where you are? I've changed so we can go for a walk if you like. Was this the playroom?
Yeah, this is Eric's room.
But to let it go on staying this way.
Victor and I have often thought of making some change, but never do somehow. I come here now and then. I like to sit here myself to let my thoughts wander.
Come, let's go.
Wait, Mama. Can you feel the aura here? Eric drowned just on the day when he was 4 exactly. You know that, of course. Victor couldn't handle it. They had a fine relationship, Eric and his papa. Outwardly, I mourned a great deal, but underneath, inside, I felt he was still alive. And we still lived close to one another. I simply begin to think about him, and I find he's near. At times, as I go to sleep, I can sense his breath on my cheeks, and I can feel him clinging with his hand. He's living in his own world, but at any time we can reach one another. There's no dividing line. There's no insurmountable wall. At times I wonder what that reality is like when my little boy's living his days. Though I'm aware it's a world you can't imagine even. A world in which feelings have been free, that I know. Do you know what I mean? For me, man is a great concept, like some inconceivable thought. And in man there's everything, the highest to the lowest. And man is God's own image. And in God everything exists. And so it happens, men are created. But also the demons, and the saints, and the prophets, and the artists, and all those who bring destruction. Everything there is in coexistence, growing into each other in time. Everything in patterns that keep changing every second. Understand what I mean? But by the same token, an infinite and limitless number of realities. Not simply the reality we always can perceive with our limited senses, but such myriad realities that stream and flow over and all around the inside of us and outside of us. It's out of priggishness and out of fear that limits are set. Actually, there are none. Neither for thoughts, nor feelings, none. And anxiety sets limits, I guess. Don't you think so? As you playing that adagio in Beethoven's Clavier Sonata, you must sense that you live in a world without limitations, in a constant searching that you can never see and can't explore.
Let's go for our walk. It'll soon be too dark.
Of course. Excuse me, I thought I heard a Linn. I'll just be a moment. Excuse me.
Victor, you know, I think Eva is really very unhappy. I'm appalled at the way she goes on. It's so neurotic. It's beyond all reason.
Wait just a moment, my dear Charlotte. And I shall try to explain how I see my wife. At the time I asked Eva to marry me, she was honest. What she said was she didn't love me.
Victor, what do you mean?
Of course, I asked, was there anyone else? And her answer was that she hadn't ever loved anyone. That she was incapable of loving. Eva and I lived here several years. Then our Eric was born. We'd already given up hope of having a child of our own, and had started to talk about adoption. At any rate, Eva changed completely with her pregnancy. She became very cheerful, more outgoing, tender and gentle. She became very lazy and didn't want to bother about her parish work or her piano. She would sit by that window gazing out at the play of light over the ridge and the fjord. And we were both happy suddenly. I'm a great deal older than Eva, and I'd felt as though some film of grey had settled over my life, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I thought it was now time to look back and say, and so, that was life. It was all there would be. But everything was suddenly different. Yeah. Will you forgive me, Charlotte? I found it very difficult. Yeah. We had some very rich years. Eric. You should have seen Eva. You really should have seen her.
I'm thinking at the time she had Eric, I had a full schedule. I was busy recording the Mozart sonatas and the piano concertos. There wasn't a single day free.
I know, that's right. We both asked you to come and see him, but you couldn't get away at all.
Nay.
Eric drowned, and everything turned a whole lot grayer. For Eva, it was totally different.
How? In just what way different?
Nothing's changed for her in the way she feels. It appears that way at any rate. And you know, Charlotte, I think if she senses her son alive and near her still, it could just be that's how it is. She doesn't often talk about it. She's afraid it would distress me, naturally. No doubt it does. But what she says sounds right. And I believe her.
Of course. You're a minister.
The little faith I have lives on her terms.
Forgive me, I hurt you, I know.
It's all right, Charlotte, really, you see. I'm unlike you and Eva. I'm a very unsure sort of person. The fault's in myself.
A good dose of sleeping pills and I'll sleep. So I'll feast. How quiet and still, with a steady patter of raindrops on the roof.
Do you have everything you need?
Oh, it couldn't be better. The right kind of cookies, mineral water, a tape recorder and cassettes, 2 detective novels, sleeping mask and earplugs, my special little cushion, and my own blanket. Would you like some of my marvelous Swiss chocolates? Fresh from Zurich. Go on, you may have 2 pieces.
Thank you, Mama. I don't care for chocolate.
Oh, but that's strange. Well, I mean, when you were a child, you were crazy about candy.
Helena liked candy, but I didn't.
All the better. Then I can keep all the chocolates for myself.
Good night,
Good
Mama.
night, my angel. Good night. You know, Victor is such a warm, kind person. You must take good care of him.
I do, really.
Eva, darling, tell me, is it a good marriage? Are you happy?
Victor is my best friend. I've really no idea what life would be without him.
He said that you did not love him.
He said that?
Yeah. Why do you ask?
It's rather a surprise.
Was it a big secret?
No.
But you don't like him to say it.
Confiding in people isn't like
It was you we were talking about.
When you want to know anything, why not ask me directly? And I'll try to be as
You're
honest as I
making
can.
far too much out of it. Now, you mustn't exaggerate. Is it so strange? It seems to me a mother should be interested in her daughter. We talked about you with deepest love and concern.
I wish I could understand why you're always minding the affairs of others.
Oh, I've not minded your affairs now for ages.
You're quite right there.
Nay, give me a big hug now. And swear that you're not angry with your poor mama.
Nay, angry.
You see, I love you.
And I love you.
Well, Being alone isn't much fun, believe me. In fact, I envy you and Victor. Yeah. Now that Leonardo is dead, it's lonely without him. Do you understand?
Yeah, Mama, I understand.
Nay. I'll be crying with self-pity in another minute. This book, it's not a bad detective story. It's the work of a new writer, Adam Krasinski. You heard anything about him?
No.
I ran across him in Madrid. He was as crazy as they come. I had no defense against him, so I made no defense, to be honest.
Shall I put out this light?
Thank you, if you'd be so kind.
Let me know when you'd like your breakfast.
Please don't make a fuss about it.
But I've decided you to be spoiled.
Well, my dear, since you insist.
Strong coffee, warm milk, 2 slices of dark German bread, Jarlsberg cheese, and a slice of white toasted bread smothered with honey. Is that right?
Oh, and grapefruit juice, a big glass full.
Oh, I nearly forgot, dear me. You'll have your glass of juice.
See you in the morning, darling. Good night.
Good night, Mama, dear.
I might as well take a look at my accounts. Now then, I really must tell Brahma to place that money of Leonardo's. The house is also worth a great deal. No, Leonardo, you didn't think about debits and credits, did you? You were an artist. You couldn't be bothered. You left such petty problems to Charlotte. 3,721,866 francs. To think you had so much money, Leonardo. Who would have thought it? And imagine simply leaving it to your poor Charlotte. No, I, too, have a little nest egg. Oh, and that's approximately 5 million. How am I to spend so much? I know what. I can buy a car and present it to Victor and Eva. They mustn't use that old rattletrap sitting in the yard. I'm sure it's very dangerous. Monday we'll go into town and look at some new models. It'll cheer them both up a bit, and me too. And so she offered him the red blossom, mute in her virginity, and he accepted without enthusiasm. Impossible, such terrible trash. I must say, what an idiot he turned out to be, that Adam. Even though he tried suicide for love of me, he said. I could get myself a new car by the same token and give Victor and Eva the Mercedes. Huh? That way I could fly to Paris and buy a car there. Oh, it would save my driving that long way. Oh, tomorrow I must start practicing the Ravel. Oh, God, how lazy I've been lately. Oh, it's simply disgraceful. Ah.
Mama, what's the matter? I heard you call out, and when I went to your room, you weren't there.
I'm sorry if I woke you up, but I had a horrible dream. I dreamed...
Yeah?
I can't remember what it was.
I'll gladly keep you company if you want to
Nay,
talk.
thank you, dear. I'll sit here for a little while till I calm down. Please go back to sleep.
All right, then, I will.
Eva?
Yeah, Mama?
Do you like me?
You're my mother.
That's one way of answering.
Do you like me?
But dearest, I love you.
That isn't so.
Eva, dear, you remember surely that I interrupted a career just to stay home with you and Papa.
And you remember surely you had an injury and you couldn't practice your 6 hours a day due to a bad back. So your playing gradually became worse and your reviews became worse also. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but Eva...
I don't know which was worse. The times you were home acting the role of wife and mother, or the times you were on tour. The more I think about it, the more I realize what hell you created both for Papa and me.
But Eva, dear, that's nonsense. Papa and I were most certainly happy. Joseph adored me, and I would have given my life for him.
Of course. You were unfaithful, dear.
Absolutely not. I was entirely truthful and above board with Papa. I was attracted to Martin at the time and lived with him for 8 months. You don't think that affair was any bed of roses?
Well, it was I who had to remain with Papa every night. It was I who had to console him. It was I who, despite everything, kept repeating that you really did love him and that you really were coming back. It was I who had to open up your letters and read them out loud. Your long, loving, amusing letters, which you told us choice bits about your interesting travels. We'd both sit there like foolish idiots. And how many times we'd go through your letters. We thought there wasn't anyone more special than you.
Eva, you hate me.
I've no idea. But suddenly you come here, and how glad I am that you're going to come, and I don't know what I've been hoping. I thought you were lonely and you'd be sad. I've no idea, it's so confusing. I thought I was adult, would have insight, was clear about you, about myself, about how Lena could be objective about us. Now it's like some tremendous chaos. Dear Linn. I'm here. Linn, wake up now. It's all right now. So. So, I'll sit with you here till you sleep. For you, I was a doll you played with when you had time. If I became sick or naughty, you handed me over to the nursemaid. You'd shut yourself in and work, and no one was allowed to disturb you. I used to stand outside your door, listening. When you'd stop for coffee, I'd sneak in to see if you really existed. You were always kind, but your mind was somewhere else.
Hey, little one.
If I asked you something, you'd hardly answer.
That looks good. Mama wants to be alone now. It's lovely out. Why don't you run along and play?
You always looked so nice. I wanted to look nice, too. I became meticulous about my clothes, always worrying about whether you'd like how I looked. I was so ugly, bony and thin, big cow eyes and big thick lips, and no eyebrows. My arms were far too thin. My feet were too big. I thought I looked repulsive. Once you said, I think you should have been a boy, and then you laughed so I wouldn't be upset. But I was, of course. And then suddenly one day your suitcases would be standing downstairs, and you'd be talking on the phone in a foreign language. I used to pray something would happen, so that you wouldn't go on your trip. But you went always. You would come to me. You'd hug me a bit, kiss me, and would always hug me and kiss me again. You'd look at me and smile at me. You used a scent that was lovely but strange, and you were a stranger. You were already on your way. You wouldn't see me. And then you were gone. I used to think, now I'll die. It hurts so much. I'll never be happy again. It's been only 5 minutes. How can I stand such pain for 2 months? And so I'd cry on Papa's lap. And Papa sit there, quietly stroking my hair with his soft hand, patting me gently. With no thought about time, puffing on his brown pipe, surrounding us with smoke. Sometimes he'd say something. Let's go to a movie this evening. Or how about some ice cream for dinner? But I couldn't have cared less about movies or ice cream because I was dying. And so the days and the weeks dragged on. We shared the loneliness quite well. We did not much to say to one another, but it was so peaceful with him, and I never disturbed him. At times he would seem troubled. Of course, I was too young to understand that he had economic difficulties. But then I would lumber in, and he'd cheer up, and either we might have a talk, or he'd start patting me with his pale little hand. And occasionally Uncle Otto would be sitting on the sofa drinking brandy. And they'd mumble quietly to each other. I wonder if they heard what they said. Or else Uncle Harry might be there and they would play chess. And it would be extra still. And you were able to hear 3 clocks ticking in the house. And when I knew you would soon be home again, I'd run a terrible temperature, but I'd be very anxious to stay well because I knew how much you were afraid of being around anyone the least bit sick. And when you did come, I could hardly stand it. I was so happy I got tongue-tied and couldn't say anything. And so sometimes you would start to get impatient and say, Eva doesn't seem to be happy at having her mother home again. And then I'd get red as a beet. Break into a sweat. There was nothing I could say. For me, there just weren't any words. Because you had taken charge of the words in our home.
Eva, you're
Wait,
exaggerating.
Mama. I have to finish. I realize I'm a little drunk, but without the wine, I don't think that I could have said all this. Later, when I won't dare say more, I'll go silent out of shame for what I've already said. You can have your say and I'll listen and understand in much the same way as I always understood. I did so love you, Mama. It was a matter of life and death, but I mistrusted your words. They didn't match the expression I saw in your eyes. You have a lovely voice, Mom. I can recall as a child hearing you speak was a caress to me. But of course I knew instinctively you didn't really mean what you said. I never could understand your words. The most awful thing was you would smile when you were angry. When you hated Papa, you'd call him my dearest. When you were tired of me, you'd say, darling little girl. It's so quiet.
What would you like me to say?
You could try defending yourself, for instance.
You think I should?
How do I know?
You reproach me for deserting you. You reproach me for staying home. It's clear that you haven't realized I had a hell of a time through those years. I was in agony with that injury and never could practice, gave bad concerts, and of course the most important were cancelled. Suddenly my life seemed quite meaningless. And imagine the guilty conscience on top of it, traveling and never being there for you and Papa. And sneer at me all you please. I want to talk to you as honestly as I can, to tell you how I felt, think as you damn well please after. We can just talk it out and be done with it and never bring it up again.
I'll try to understand.
I was in Hamburg. I was playing the Beethoven first. It's not all that difficult, and went as you'd expect. After the concert, I met Schmitz, the conductor, you recall? Yeah, he's dead now. And we had supper at this fine restaurant we both loved to eat. Well, after eating and drinking in a nice, leisurely fashion, I was feeling contented and relaxed, and then he came to the point. Why won't you consider staying home with your child, being with your husband, and start living a respectable life, instead of leaving yourself a target for so much humiliation? I stared at him in a minute and then laughed and said, do you think I played so atrociously tonight? It was a nice job, he said, but I can't help thinking back to August 18th, 1934. We played that Beethoven first together in Linz. You were 20 years old. The hall was packed. We played like inspired gods, and what a brilliant orchestra. Afterwards, the audience arose and started stamping. The musician stood for you. Then he said, you wore a very simple red gown and had long hair to your waist. Well, I asked him how he could recall all that. He said, I keep track, mark my scores. I write down all my great experiences. When I got back to my hotel, I couldn't sleep. At 3 a.m., I put in a call to Papa. Told him my decision had been made. I was going to stop all my touring. And I would stay home with you and Papa, and we'd be a real family. Joseph couldn't believe it. He was so glad. We cried over it, both of us. And we talked for a couple of hours. Well, that was that. And all that summer we were together and we were happy, weren't we? You were not happy?
No, I was not.
But you said things had never been so good.
I didn't want you to be sad.
That just goes to show, doesn't it? What did I do wrong?
I was 14 years old, and there'd be nothing much better for you. All your pent-up energies were directed toward me. You were convinced you had neglected me, and now you were damn well going to make up for it. I defended myself against you, but didn't stand a chance. You dragged out your tender care and your slightly worried tone of voice. There wasn't one detail that escaped your loving energy. I never stood straight. And you started me on gymnastics. You would start referring to your back, so we'd have to exercise together. You thought that I had far too much trouble with my hair so long, so it had to be clipped. It was so ugly. And then you were convinced my teeth needed straightening, that they were crooked, and of course that meant braces. And so I looked grotesque. You said I was a big girl, and I shouldn't go around in slacks and skirts, but in dresses, which you ordered and made yourself without asking what I thought. I was so concerned with how upset you'd be, I was afraid to say anything. You came and handed me books to read, books that I never understood. All those books that I had to read and read so that you and I could discuss them at length. You would explain and hold forth, and I never knew what on earth you were talking about. I was just scared that you'd expose me and my boundless stupidity. I was paralyzed. But there was one thing I did understand. There wasn't a single bit of me that anyone could love at all. There wasn't anything to consider accepting. And you were so obsessed. I got more frightened each day, more humiliated. I said what you wanted me to say, moved the way you did, and used your gestures. I never got a chance to act like myself. But when I was alone, it never helped. Even alone, I couldn't stand anything that was me. Anything. And I would feel just awful, Mama. I shake as though I have fever. I can't stop. Just thinking about all those years. It was horrible. I never realized I hated you as I did. For I believed completely that you and I loved each other. I couldn't hate you, so my hatred became a mad anxiety. I had hideous dreams. I bit my nails, pulled out my hair by the handful. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't even make a sound. I wanted to shriek, and a grunt was all I could seem to manage. I felt like throwing up, and that left me full of fear because I thought my mind was going. There came Stefan.
You couldn't have handled the child then.
Mama, I was 18 years old. Stefan was an adult. We could have handled it. Mama!
You could never have handled it.
We could have handled it. We wanted that baby, but you destroyed our relationship.
That's not true, God damn it. On the contrary, I told your father that we had to make allowances, that we should wait and see. You didn't realize your Stefan was an idiot.
Do you think you know everything? Were you present at our discussions? And when we were together, were you under our bed? Have you any idea what you're talking about? Who cared a damn about any living creature other than yourself?
Oh, but if you had wanted that child so badly, I could not have forced you to have an
Mama, how
abortion.
could I have stood up to you? I was scared and unsure and needed to be given help and support.
I tried to help you. I was convinced at the time an abortion was the only solution. I was convinced, and I'm still convinced right up to now, how awful that you should nurse this terrible hatred all these years. Why didn't you say anything?
When have you ever listened? The fact is, you were always an escapist. And you were always emotionally very neurotic. And you always detested me and Helena. And you're quite hopelessly lost inside yourself and always standing in your own way. And I loved you so utterly. And you thought I was a very ugly, hopeless, and stupid failure. And succeeded in injuring me for life, precisely as you yourself are injured. You attacked the most vulnerable things and didn't fail to smother anything that was alive. You talk of my hatred. Your hatred was as bitter. Just as bitter. I was little and tractable. and loving. You bound me out of your terrible need for my love, much the same way as you charm others to have their love. I was entirely at your mercy. It was all done in the name of love. You kept saying that you loved me and Papa and Lena. And you were an expert at love's inflections and gestures. People like you are a menace. You should be locked away so you can't do any harm. A mother and daughter. What a fierce, terrible combination of feelings of confusion, of destruction. Anything can be done and is, concern or love being the alibi. Mother's injuries are carried over to the daughter. Mother's deep frustrations are to be paid for by the daughter. Mother's unhappiness is to be the daughter's unhappiness. It's as though the umbilical cord had never been cut. Mama, is it so? Is the daughter's tragedy the mother's triumph? Mama, is my grief your secret pleasure?
God, my back's aching. Do you mind if I lie down on the floor? It's the only thing that helps me. Nay, I remember so little about my childhood. Neither parent could express affection. Touching was forbidden, either as a punishment or as a caress. I was very ignorant about anything that might pertain to love, intimacy, contact, nearness, warmth. I found my outlet in music. There was no other place for emotions to show. At times, when I lie awake at night, I wonder whether I have really lived. And I wonder, can it possibly be the very same for others? Or do some people enjoy a more special gift for living than others? Or whether some people don't really live, but just exist. And then I'm sick. I'm sick with anxiety. And I see a horrendous picture of myself as someone who's never grown. I'm older, face and body both aged. I have memories and I've acquired experience. And inside of all that is just a void. I blank out faces, including mine. At times, I try to remember what my mother looked like. But I can't see her. I recall things about her. She was dark, big, had blue eyes, a strong nose, full lips. But I can never make the pieces all come together. I can't see her. By the same token, I can't see your face, or Helena's, or Leonardo's. Well, I remember giving birth to you and your sister, but all I remember of the deliveries is that they hurt. But the pain, what was the pain like? It's blanked out. Leonardo once said, how'd he put it now? Oh, a sense of reality is just a matter of talent, he said. And the great majority of men are without it. And I think it's just as well. Do you know what he meant?
Yeah, I know.
How very strange.
Strange.
I have always feared you.
I don't understand.
I've always wished you'd take care of me. That you would take me in your arms and comfort me.
I was a small child.
Does that matter? I saw that you loved me. And I wanted to love you, but I couldn't. I was afraid of your demands.
I didn't have any.
I thought that you did have. I didn't want to be your mother. I wanted you to know that I was just as helpless as you were.
Is that really true?
What are you thinking about?
About Leonardo and Helena.
I don't understand. I mean, they hardly knew one another. We just spent one Easter together in Bornholm.
You left after 3 days.
To play the Bartok first with Hans and me in Geneva. I wanted to get there in time to rehearse, to go through the concerto with the old gentleman in peace. So it's quite likely I only stayed 3 days. The weather was just awful. Leonardo was in a bad mood and you weren't too cheerful yourself. I've no idea for what reason you'd bring up that impossible Easter.
Then I'll tell you, all right. Leonardo and you came on the Thursday, and the evening that we spent was just marvelous. We drank wine and sang and laughed and played some old game we found. Helena wasn't so ill then, and she was gay and cheerful. Leonardo was happy for her. Her joy was his joy. He joked a bit, spent time with her. Helena blossomed. She fell head over heels in love. The two of them sat together late into the night. And on the following morning, Helena told me that Leonardo had kissed her. That evening, we had guests. Leonardo had been drinking and began playing all of Bach's solo suites. He wasn't his usual self. He looked bigger and seemed so very gentle. Didn't play well at all, but it was lovely. Helena sat there in the gloaming and beamed. I've never seen anything like it. You and I took a walk, I remember, and you began chattering, but I'd never heard a word you said. Those two people held all of my thoughts. When we went back, they were still sitting where we'd left them, one at each end of the room. You went up to your bedroom, and I had to help Leonardo up. Well, when we got to the bedroom door, he stopped and turned around and, fixing his eyes on me a minute, I remember he said, "Can you guess what is fluttering against the window pane? There's a butterfly in there." When I went back down to Lena, she was sitting straight up in her chair. She was completely calm, completely relaxed. There wasn't a single trace left of her illness. I can still picture her, just as she looked, Mama. I can still picture her as she looked. Next morning, you went away to Geneva. 4 days earlier than you were supposed to have gone. And casually, as we were saying goodbye, you said, "I'm letting Leonardo stay a little longer. It's obviously doing Helena good." And you grinned. Leonardo began to get moody and restless. I remember Easter Sunday. Leonardo went off by himself in the rain. The moment he returned, he went up to Lena and said that he'd be going and they'd be seeing each other again. He got a long-distance call through, and he spoke to you in Geneva a half hour or more. He flew out that evening on the last plane. That night I awakened, it was Helena crying. She had severe pains in her right hip and leg. She didn't think she could stand it till morning. So at 5 o'clock, I had to phone for an ambulance.
So it was my fault that Lena became ill?
Yeah, I think so.
You mean Lena's illness, maybe?
Yeah.
But you can't be serious.
Helena was just one when you first deserted her. And you went on abandoning us both. Helena began to be seriously ill, and you sent her to a nursing home.
It's not true.
What do you mean, not true? Are you able to prove that I'm wrong? Look at me, Mama. And how about Helena? So there can be no excuses. There can only be a single truth and a single lie. There can be no forgiveness.
You can't say I'm entirely to blame.
You want exclusive rights, concessions and rules for you. You managed to set up a discount system with life. One day you're bound to find out that your agreement is all on your side. You must come to realize you've been harboring guilt just like everyone else.
What guilt? Dearest Eva, can you find it in your heart to show forgiveness? I'll try to change myself. You'll teach me. We'll take time with each other. But help me. I can't go on any longer. Your hatred is so terrible. I haven't realized how selfish and childish I've been. Can't you hug me? Or if you would touch me at least. Help me.
Oh, Mamma! Kom!
Help me.
Mamma! Kom!
Paul, it was good of you to come with me. I don't think I could have taken it alone. I don't know, I had a slight shock, I think. My daughter Helena was there quite unexpectedly and sicker than ever. Why can't she die? Do you think it's cruel of me to talk like that?
Poor Mama, rushing off like that. She looked so frightened and so old and tired suddenly. And her face had shrunk and her nose was red from crying. Now I'll never see her again.
Paul, don't go to sleep now. The critics always say I'm a generous musician. No one plays Schumann's concerto with a warmer tone, nor the big Brahms sonata. I'm not stingy with myself. Or am I?
It'll be dark soon, and it's getting cold. I've got to get home and make dinner for Victor and Helena. I can't die now. I'm afraid to commit suicide, and one day maybe God will want to use me. And then he'll set me free from my prison.
Paul, see that little village? The lights are on already in the houses. People are going about doing their evening duties. Somebody's preparing dinner. The children are doing their homework. I sense that I'm shut out of it and long to get home. But then when I'm home, I realize that's not what I'm always searching and longing for.
Erik, are you stroking my cheek? Are you whispering in my ear? Are you with me now? We'll never leave each other, you and I.
What would I do without you? And what would you do without me? Think what a trying time you have with your violinists, how they grumble, and what a hell of a noise they make when they practice.
There's a light in Helena's room. Victor is there, talking with her. That's good. He's kind. He's telling her that Mama has left.
Your mother sent her love. She was sad and worried. She was crying. He was gone for a walk. She was so looking forward to this meeting with her mother. She was hoping for far too much. I didn't have the heart to warn her. I don't understand what you're saying. You say you want to... You must try and speak calmly. Helena. Lena, dear. Otherwise, I can't understand. Eva! Quickly! Sometimes I stand looking at my wife without her knowing I'm here. She's upset. She's been terribly upset since Charlotte left so suddenly. She hasn't been able to sleep. She says that she drove her mother away and that she can never forgive herself.
Are you going out?
Just to the post office to pick up a package of books.
Then would you please mail this for me while you're there?
Of course. For Charlotte?
If you like, you're welcome to read it. I'll go to Lena now.
Dearest Mama, I wronged you as I now realize. Instead of meeting you with affection, I met you with demands. I plagued you with an old miserable hatred that's no longer real. I was very wrong in all I did and want you please to forgive me.
I realize it's possible you'll never get my letter. And if it does reach you, you may not read it. Chances are it's too late. But I hope still that I can make the best out of all I've discovered. Everything is not lost. I mean, there's the wondrous opportunity of taking care of one another, of helping one another, of sharing warmth. It's the last time I'll allow you to vanish out of my life. I shall never let go. I'll keep on trying, even though it be too late. I don't think it's too late. It must not be too late.